Okay, going to show you guys how to prepare your textures to get them ready to layer them into uh, our poster. It could be any poster, in our case, the cross-country poster. Um, so first step is to find images. So I went on a site like Pexels, which is a site where you can find copyright-free stock footage, and then search for things that would make sense for what we're doing. So I searched for splash, and you can see there's a bunch of high-resolution images here. For example, this one here, which I did download, which could make for an interesting texture to layer in. If I go back, you can see some of my other searches, for instance, smoke, okay, which could make for an interesting addition to our image, like so. Another one is, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's called bokeh, which is kind of like those blurry lights that you see in some images, okay? Or you can just simply search the word texture as well, and just look through and see what kind of interesting things that you find. Really, anything can work. You can see a lot of different options for textures as well. And Pexels is not the only place you can look. There's other places as well. So there's your options. So then once you find some images that you want to use, bring them into Photopea like so. And then you get them ready to be used. So how do we get them ready to be used? Well, when you're dealing with these textures, you want them to be, first of all, in our case, we're going to want them to be black and white. Now, is that the only way to do it? No. You can use color ones. You can put them in color and then do the same procedure that I'm going to show you to turn them into black and white while they're in your image, because you can see maybe you like it with the color, maybe it works for your particular layout. Um, and if it doesn't, then you can always change it on the fly when it's in there. But I'm going to show you how to prep these real quick anyway. So we have not talked about image adjustments yet, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now. Image adjustments are found under the image menu under adjustments. All right. And again, I said my preference in this situation is to make them black and white. So the first thing to do is go ahead and go to hue and saturation and just remove the saturation. Step 2, image adjustments, and I like to use levels for this next step. So levels will adjust the contrast in the image. It will adjust the values, so how dark something is, how light something is. So the way this one works is you can see this kind of graph in the center here. All right, and you have a black square, a gray square, and a white square. All right. By sliding the black square in toward the graph, you're going to make the darkest colors darker. So you can see as I approach this line on the graph, this line represents what values are dark. So by bringing this closer, it's saying, okay, make these values black. All right, when it's over here, these values here are gray. Okay, because black is all the way over here. So by moving black closer to those values, you're making the values darker. So you can see that's what happens. Now the white works the exact same way. If I slide the white in, the lights will get lighter. Okay, so I'll do that as well and decide where I want to be. And the gray works like so. To the left, it will make the middle tones, the middle values lighter, and by moving to the right, it will make the middle values darker. So in this case, I think I want to have some true black in there, so I want to slide this and make it a little darker so that the black is completely black here. And that's it. It's as simple as that. You're just trying to increase the contrast in the texture. The reason is when I get to the next step in the next video, I'll show you how to use these blending modes. And the way the blending modes work is it will take some of the darkest parts of the image and basically hide them, and then it will allow the light parts to show through. So by increasing the level of black, you're essentially allowing these areas to be hidden. More on that later. So that's it. I'm happy with this. I'll hit OK, and then I'll save it and go from there. All right, I'll save this as a JPEG.